Welcome back to Bomberos on Fire podcast. My name is Armando. For those who are new, welcome. Thank you for finding the link, finding the place. For those who come back, thank you again to keep it together and help supporting the channel. Before we start the podcast, as always, like, subscribe, whatever, click on it. Uh, just help. That'll help a lot. I'm not Joe Rogan, so we need to support each other. And before we start, actually, way before, I want to say thank you to the sponsor, Roto School. If you're thinking or you dream is being in the sky and fly, those guys can help you out to become a helicopter pilot. They have payment plans. They got everything you need, and they're located in Central Florida. You can go to rotor.school. They are bilingual for those who's thinking about, oh, maybe I don't know English. No, they all speak Spanish. It's a Venezuelan-owned company, and like I said, located in Central Florida. And with that, thank you, Roto School. And today episode, we got a really special person. This involving a lot of things. One of those is nursing, another is hypnotism, another one is helping people with mental health and improve their well-being. Right? Kind of. I'm
Yes.
right. I'm right. So, Diane, the floor is yours. You can introduce yourself and what do you do?
Yes. So I am Diane Vich. I'm a pediatric emergency room nurse. Been more than 18 years doing that. But I do love helping people in the community. And I recently launched an app because
Mm-hmm.
I felt like it was really important for me to get something for my clients to be able to use in their hands that was more functional than having my course in different ways. So yeah, I do hypnosis and I incorporate different healing modalities that are very alternative to help them heal both mentally and physically. So it depends on what they come with, but I help them work through whatever their mental health concerns are, as well as their physical symptoms that they are feeling. So I deal mostly with somatic stress relief, which is symptoms in the body. And then I use hypnosis to help empower their mindset and also to help relieve the symptoms.
Nice. That was awesome. Um, Before we go into deep into hypnosis, if the people want to find your app, how do they do that, or how do the process go? Say, hey, I like this person. I want to get the treatment. I want to know what's going on. How to reach
Yeah.
to you?
So the app has a bunch of classes that are free. Right now, I'm like about to change the name to the actual name of my company, but right now it's called Self Love Paves the Way.
Okay.
And what that means is, when I healed from my own trauma, I found that the way to heal, both spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and physically, was to practice self love. So, a lot of the things that I teach are how we can incorporate self love into our daily lives, into the things that we do every day, even if it's brushing our teeth or really making it mindful when we're taking a shower, getting, to connect with ourselves in a more peaceful way. So that's why I called the app that Self Love Paves the Way. So that's what it's called. It's in the App Store in Google and in Apple.
Mm-hmm.
If I change the name, it's going to be Orgasmic Healing, which is the name of my company. Which basically, what it is a form of mindfulness that I came up with. And I actually made, I don't know if you could see it on the podcast, but I made bookmarks for my clients,
Oh,
which is what
nice.
orgasmic stands for. Um, it's
Oh,
optimism. So having an optimistic mindset. Um, the second one is R, which is resilience. G is gratitude. We have to practice gratitude daily, and it really does shift the way we feel. A is for awareness. So are we aware and in tune of our body and the signs that it's giving us? Like, let's say we have a conversation with someone and we get triggered in the moment and all of a sudden we have pain in our shoulders. Our body is telling us there's just something going on in this conversation, something that's making us uncomfortable. Are we actually addressing that issue when it arises, um, and becoming aware of the signs that our body's giving us? And then the next one is zestfulness. How can we live more zestful, be more excited, like be a kid, have more fun, go blow bubbles if you like to blow bubbles, go, throw water balloons if that's something you like to do, but have more fun in life. And then M is magical manifestations. How can we begin to manifest the things we want in our lives? And then intuition. We need to expand our intuition so we can trust our instincts and make, heartfelt decisions for our lives. And then K is kindness. And I love kindness. For me, it's how can we give back, right? Like, you use this podcast to help people and share the things you've learned and things that you have been intrigued about to help people with mental health. I like going in the community and helping special needs kids, and that's something that I do as a member of a nonprofit. So it's any time that we can give in kindness. I was just on a trip with my son, and we went to a water park. And at the last second, it was super expensive. My kids were like, "No, we don't really want to do it," but I had already paid for the parking. And before I left, I was like, "You know what? I'm gonna give this ticket away." And I stopped the family. They're like, "What's wrong with you? What's wrong? What's wrong?" I'm like, "Nothing's wrong. Here's the ticket. Here's the receipt. Enjoy the day. You just saved $35. Enjoy
Wow.
yourself, pay it forward." And they're like, "Oh my gosh, that was so amazing. Thank you." I'm like,
Wow.
whenever you can pay it forward, just do that. It really does shift your day. It shifts your perspective. You just,
Got it.
instead of being grumpy that I spent all this money, right? I gave it to someone, and now I'm happy because I gave it to someone and they feel great about their day.
Yeah, like make lemons from lemonade tree, from make lemonade from lemonade tree. Whatever I
Yeah.
said, it is that's the concept.
Make lemonade out of lemons. Yeah, I say that a lot actually. That's funny because it's in I have a Facebook group, and that's the main symbol is the lemons, because I think life does gives us a lot of lemons. Sometimes we are having a sour day, and we got to
Yeah,
figure out how can we shift it into a positive outlook. How can we find the blessing in the stress? There's always a lesson to learn
it's true.
in each day.
It's true. Some people never see that, and we work in the and just take a little bit of action. Hey, I know it sucks today, but hey, you learned something. You walk a mile in the ER around. Hey, something good is going on.
Yeah, there's always something good. I remember that. I mean, I haven't worked at bedside in a long time, but there's always something positive in the day. There's always a smile that you get from a kid that you helped. Their family being grateful for them being able to go home. Like there's always something, even though you have a stressful day and there's tons of stuff falling on your shoulders because you're responsible for so much. There's always something good about it.
No, it's true. And what makes you jump from medical field, straightforward medicine to hypnosis and that type of holistic approach to health?
So my whole journey, I've been kind of delving in both realms, right? I went from being a special ed teacher into
Oh wow.
um, nursing because I really had this connection with special needs kids. I was actually a child with learning disabilities. So for me, it was really close to my heart. But I realized that I had so many physical conditions and different issues. Like I've had more than 9 surgeries, and I'm only 40. How old am I? 46. But by the time I was 30, I had had more than 9 surgeries. I had tons of prescriptions, and I was really sick. So I went on this journey to try to figure out how could I heal my body. Um, and in the process, I found incorporating and finding a balance between the two worlds was really the way for me to heal. Because if I was on too many prescriptions, that I had too many side effects and I didn't feel physically healthy. Like I was taking all these medicines to survive, but I didn't feel well. So that's what led me to start this journey into eating healthier, doing more exercise, finding mindfulness. And along the way, I found that I really wanted to try out hypnosis because I knew that I had childhood trauma, but I had suppressed it to a point where I wasn't sure why. Why did I develop all of these physical conditions? Why was I under so much stress since I was so young?
Hmm.
Because I had suppressed what happened. And I actually went into hypnosis to help me push through some fears. So once I went through it and I was able to start, that's when I started my podcast, even though it's been on a break for a very long time. But I got this courage that I didn't have before because I was able to just process things at a different level. But healing is always peeling away layers, right? So after
Yeah.
I did that, I decided I was going to learn how to do hypnosis. So I started working with clients, and that set me on a different path where I wanted to heal even deeper layers. So I had already forgiven my abusers, but I wanted to know what happened. I needed to know exactly what I went through so that I could see myself in a new light. And that was a big process, which has brought me to where I'm
I
at.
I bet.
And I think the mind is the thing we have to work on the most and the thing we ignore the most. We have all of these signs and things that make us uncomfortable, and we don't necessarily address them right away, right? We let them build and build and build into the point that we're overwhelmed, we're sad, we're crying. And that's what healing from trauma is. It's peeling
Yeah.
away the layers and slowly healing piece by piece. And hypnosis was really a powerful tool that I felt I had to incorporate into my coaching practice and share what I learned in my journey with my clients.
Yeah, and they can sympathize. They can actually connect with you, and
Mhm.
that's weird. That's I heard hypnosis can take you back to your childhood, and then you can open that whatever you compartmentalize in your mind, and hopefully start healing. And it's a long process. That's what I know.
Yes, it's definitely a process. And I think the person, if you choose to do hypnosis and you work with your therapist or your hypnotist, because I'm a hypnotist, not a hypnotherapist, um,
Oh,
you you become connected with them and you let them know what are you comfortable with, right? Because I do some hypnosis that's regressions. I take them back to their childhood and re-heal those wounds, and they can reprocess those experiences and bring in positive emotions and energies so that when they experience that stress again, they don't experience at the same stress level as they used to. But not all clients are comfortable with going back. Some just want to work on the stuff right now, right? And they don't always want to go back, which is the same thing that happened in my therapy, right? When I was doing hypnosis, I couldn't actually see what happened. The only thing that I saw when I was under hypnosis was that I was in a red room. That's what I always called it, the red room. I realized that red was not a good color for me. And whenever I was wearing red or someone around me was wearing red, it was very stressful for me. But I couldn't actually see the events. I could heal from that superficial layer, but I wasn't ready to go deeper, right? So once the clients are really ready to go deeper is when you can do something like regressions and go back in. And the treatment that I did to actually see exactly what happened, it was called EMDR, which is done by a psychologist, and it's called eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. It's a really hard word,
it's
but
so
basically it incorporates both sides of the brain. They use sound waves. They you move your eyes side to side, and as you go back into the memories, and the way it triggers the brain is that you can actually see things that you weren't able to see before. So that was my healing at a deeper level. And that shows
wow.
you how um, you can heal doing different modalities in different ways, because some things might take you a little bit deeper, but healing is an overall lifestyle
It is.
choice.
It is.
And it's something that's ongoing. You're always going to be healing. There's always going to be things that trigger you.
Yeah.
And life is about finding the joy in every single day so you can process the stress of that day and really become a new version of yourself. Each day you can reinvent yourself.
Yeah. It's true. And I think another big important step is recognizing you have a problem or you have something going on. Because some
Hmm.
people spend their whole lives just thinking they're great, they're perfect, 100%, when inside they're literally crumbling and they're getting destroyed by whatever factors going on. And I think that's a big, big factor.
It definitely is. And I think, especially like on social media and stuff, you see
Yeah.
pictures and you think people are doing great, and really inside they're not. It's just a front, it's just a face. And that's something when I was really doing the deep healing, I pulled away from social media, I pulled away from the podcast and all of that stuff, because even if I show you a picture, yeah, it's a great picture, but how I was feeling was not like that person. I had to find that person again. I had to find that self-love again. And it's interesting because everybody goes through that. We're all
Yeah.
human. It's
Yeah.
part of the human experience to feel pain.
Yeah, it's true. I met people that are great social media, but inside they're borderline suicide,
Yeah,
and you never know.
you have no clue. Unless you're close to them, like if you're close to someone and they're in your family, you might see signs. But when it's on that superficial social network, you don't always know.
Yeah, that's true. I got a question. What is the difference between a hypnotist and a hypnosis or hypnotician? I don't know.
Hypnotist. So a
Hypnotist, yes.
hypnotist isn't a therapist, right? So a therapist would be someone that got their degree in psychology and um, got their master's degree in psychology, and they are certified therapists, but they do hypnosis. in
Oh.
combination. They do like talk therapy. Like, let's say you have mental health issues and you see a psychologist. There might be a psychologist that you see that also does hypnosis, and that would be a hypnotherapist. I do hypnosis, but my primary job is a nurse, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I do more of a combination of how can I help the client with their physical symptoms and incorporate hypnosis, but it's not really talk therapy. You're not talking to me for an hour and
Yeah.
going through your daily experiences. I do evaluate like what's going on in their daily lives, right? But my primary thing is not talk therapy. I basically take them on a journey in their mind and
Okay.
then give them the audio so that they can continue to reprogram their self-limiting beliefs. So hypnosis
Okay.
is like a deep trance. We take them into a deep relaxation, a level of consciousness to access their subconscious mind and to begin to reprogram. So before I see all my clients, I prefer over having this conversation, I prefer for them to think about it before and fill out a weekly assessment. And on that weekly assessment, I ask them, so what are the challenges that you had? Were there challenges in relationships? Was it something in your job that triggered you? Were there certain emotions or feelings that kept coming up? Have you been feeling anxious? Did you have physical pain? And what are the things that you want to expand on? So most of my clients usually want to expand on certain areas, like they want to feel more lovable. They want to expand confidence. They want to expand their self-esteem. They want to feel like they can praise themselves more. They feel like they're not doing a good job praising themselves. So whatever they want to expand on, when I take them into that creative journey, which is basically a really deep visualization,
Mm-hmm.
I help them peel away the layers of the stuff they wanted to get rid of. And then we infuse all of those positive things that they want to expand in their life. And they see themselves acting that way, being that person that they want to see themselves as.
Okay. It's like reprogramming the brain to do something that you always want to do, but never had the chance or the opportunity, or just couldn't do it.
Right. Or you didn't have the courage and you didn't feel like you had that courage inside of you to do it.
Gotcha.
Um, you can also use it to enhance focus and concentration and productivity. It depends on what they want to work on, but
Oh.
it's dependent on the person, right? What are they coming to you for? So I may have clients that want to work on an addiction, but then I have other clients that want to work on self-confidence and maybe independence, right? Creating a more abundant life where they can become more independent and um, change their current circumstances. It just depends on them.
Depends on the client what they needs. Okay.
Yeah.
I got another question about regressions. I heard this, I think in that way you can clear out the room. That if you go regressions, if you got a bad therapist or a bad hypnotist, you can stay in that regression state and never come back. I don't know if you heard that before. People are afraid doing regressions because of that.
I have heard that before, but I've never experienced that problem with any of my clients.
Okay.
I've been able to take them back. I do layers of hypnosis, so it's not like we go straight into that. At first, that first layer is I'm taking them into that relaxation state and I'm helping them realize these are the things I want to get rid of. Like I want to, maybe they said I had an experience where I was felt uncomfortable, ashamed, guilty, those words will come up. And then I say, okay, now we're going to take you to this visual space and I'm going to give you, and I keep it where it's not like they're in the environment, but they're observing themselves in that environment. So
Okay.
usually I make it kind of creative. So let's say I give them, one of the examples is one of the ones I did recently was I gave her three clouds and she was looking at these three clouds. And in these clouds, you're always going to feel safe and you're always going to be okay in your body where you're at right now, but we're just revisiting these situations. And she came up with three different scenes from her childhood that made her uncomfortable, that made her feel all of those emotions. And then I break that. Whatever she was feeling, she makes a choice in her subconscious mind that she wants to move from that into a new perspective. And
Okay.
that's when I take them on a different visual journey. So my clients never end there. I imagine that if you would end there, that you could get stuck there, right? Because you didn't let them
Yeah.
process into what they want to become.
Yeah.
And that could be a problem, but I've never experienced it. With all the regressions that I've done, all my clients have felt like amazingly relaxed and really empowered by the end of the session. Um,
Nice.
but I would assume it's the way you end it. like taking them from there into this new journey where they can actually see themselves learning from what they just saw, but see themselves in their new life acting the way that they want and incorporating those empowering statements that they chose, that they wanted to feel.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. It's makes sense. A lot of sense. Because that's what I heard. I asked somebody in the station. Firefighters, we just talk crap about each other, and whatever we see, and we make stuff up. So I wanted that you clarify that for the person who will listen to the podcast. I know that it's really interesting. And how long does session last? Let's say one session is 30 minutes, 1 hour.
It depends on how deep we have to go and what we're working on. So they can range. Typically, the session itself is an hour.
Okay.
Sometimes maybe we'll talk a little bit in the beginning, then I'll do the session. The recordings, because I always make recordings, I feel that they work better for the client than just one session. Because if we worked on something really deep, it's better for them to replay that audio for at least 7 days so they can continue to reprogram their subconscious. But the recordings themselves within that hour session, they can be anywhere between 20 minutes to 45 minutes. Sometimes they could be an hour. It depends on how deep, right? So if I'm going into a regression that's really taking them far back, or if I'm doing like a past life regression where they're going even further back, then those take longer
Yeah.
because you have to take them on this really creative journey to help them see those things that they wanted to work on.
Got it. Yeah. It's all depends on the client and the needs and what's going on with the client.
Exactly.
Uh, do you only work in Florida, or is people interested if they're outside Florida, or they cannot reach you in person? You work too, or no? You have to be in person.
No, I do virtual. I
Okay.
do in person. I do have clients that live in different states and cities, so I do offer programs where I will travel to them and do retreats in their homes if they choose to stay with me for the whole year, where I'm with them every week talking, even though it may be virtual most of the time. But if they go somewhere on vacation, I do a retreat for them there. But yeah, I do go all over the place. It just sometimes requires travel, right?
Yes.
Which can be tricky.
Little trigger for your mindset, for your mindset of mine,
Yeah,
especially at
especially
Orlando
now.
Airport. Oh my
Yeah,
God!
with all
It's
the canceled flights and stuff of now. Yeah,
Yeah. You
that's
saw that the
crazy.
whole computer system went down for around the world.
Yes. Yes. I'm so glad I was not traveling that week because I experienced that
Me
2
too.
weeks ago, 3 weeks ago when I went to Philadelphia. Our flight was canceled and that was awful. It was an airport
Oh,
filled with people that were all stressed out.
I know, and it's funny because it also affect a lot of the programs they use to manage personnel, HR, in the fire
Mhm.
service. So Orange County, there's like 50 stations. They got no way to know who's going where, which station at what time.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because that problem happened at the airport. Yeah,
Yeah, I think it
something
happened
connected
all over the place. Like all
all over the
kinds of
world.
systems were affected. I mean, even my website. I've been trying to get into my website and since it went down, I haven't been able to get in. Things happen. Very
Things
weird
happen.
things.
Yeah, things happen. And if people want to find you online, what is the best? What is the name of the website or the address?
Okay, so my website is dianevich.com. So it's DIANE, V like Victor ICH.com. And then, I told you my company is Orgasmic Healing.
Hmm.
So it's ORGAZMIK and then healing HEALING. And I'm working on getting a website that says that, but right now it's just dianevich.com.
And that's fine. Anyway, I'll put all that on the description, and then people can find you if they need consults or need to talk to you and need to, maybe new clients or somebody who knows somebody. I will send it to you 100%, and it will be in the description for those who are interested. Um, but yeah, talking about hypnotism. What is the most difficult thing you can do in hypnotism? I don't know, besides regressions. I don't know what for you take a toll to do it.
To me, the regressions are harder than like a regular hypnosis just because they're more lengthy. They require a lot more of mental preparation and thinking because you're taking them in so many different layers of healing. um I would say that would be the most difficult, but then it depends because sometimes you might come up with a client that wants to work on something that's pretty painful or deep, or they have a trauma and that could be hard too.
Okay. So it's all depends basically of the client.
It every day, and every day is different because you might have a client that came to you for something specific, like they were preparing for a presentation, and they decide to stay with you for the length of your course, but throughout it different obstacles happen, and they may have a big trigger that happened all of a sudden, and now they want to work on drinking or uh, something completely off of what you
Off.
were expecting. So it requires some adjustments. And that's why I like doing reassessments every week before I prepare for the sessions,
Oh wow.
because it requires creativity. It requires my mind to be able to create something for you that'll take you to the right space. So I like to have a little bit of a buffer room, right? I like to ask them their questions at least 2 to 3 days in advance so that I can allow my mind to process everything that they shared and give them something that's really of value.
Yeah. And plus you're giving a service, so and you're helping people anyway. So it's to go hand to hand. I noticed that you are big into visualization. You are big into putting something out there, and then that's your goal, but you see every day, like your pictures on your background.
Yes. So this is the self-love collection.
Uh-huh.
I believe a lot of eh, your environment is really an empowerment to you. Like if you look at my desk over there, you can't see the signs, but there's like nurses make it better. That's one of the phrases on my desk. Then there's one that says friends are like rainbows, always there to cheer you up after a storm. These are the things that we have around us, but we don't always pay attention to. But if we slow down in our lives and re experience these things when they come into our vision, it really helps us appreciate where we are. The reason I did the self love collection is because I wasn't seeing myself as a beautiful, confident woman. I had gone through this deep healing and I had peeled away so many layers that I had to re experience myself and see myself in a new light. And that's where these pictures came from. It was I needed to see myself like that. I needed to love myself, how I was now, knowing what I know about my trauma, knowing
Yeah.
how that poor little girl went through so much darkness, and understand that it's okay. She got through it, but I need to see myself as the confident person again. It don't have to be that hurt little girl anymore.
Yeah.
So that's what those pictures were about. And it was interesting because I always practiced self-love, and I found the word was so empowering, but that's what actually the pictures were called, the self-love
Oh.
collection.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's actually good advice for people. I mean, if you feel like you have something to do, or you project yourself or your future self, you don't have to put a professional done picture, but you can do something to help you to motivate, right?
Yeah. So like one of the things that I have in my bathroom, which is where I get ready, right? Where women put on their makeup and get ready. Sometimes you don't feel great in the morning. Sometimes you don't feel motivated. I have a picture of myself on a day that I did feel motivated, feel happy, feel confident about myself. And I see that woman smiling back at me and it shifts my perspective. But it's sometimes you just got to prepare your environment because some days are not going to be great. Some days you're going to be sad. Some days you might wake up angry, but
Yeah.
if you infuse these things around you and you actually use them as a tool, you can change into that mindset again by using your environment.
That's true. And what advice you would give somebody who's right now depressed or anxious or going through a lot of things, to start like this changing a little bit their perspective of life? What like basic thing you can say, hey, you can start doing this to help you out to go through the healing, or besides obviously go looking for help, and if you're that point, but what do you recommend or advice you give?
Well, I would say definitely connect yourself with people that make you uplifted, people that make you feel better, right? So if you have a friend that makes you feel happy when you have a conversation with them, it would be important for you to make a point to actually text them or call them, um, and make it consistent. Because a lot of the times we lose those connections and we don't try to reach out to people when we need them. So definitely reach out to people. If you need therapy, if you need to heal something that's really deep, finding a therapist is very important. But for me, the first thing that I ever tried to do within this realm was changing my breathing.
Mm.
Breathing is a really, really powerful tool. Um, and I didn't realize how quickly it could change the way you feel until I started doing it. And that's one of the first things I even taught my clients in the beginning stages of me coaching was breathing. It's so powerful, and it can shift the way you physically feel. It can calm your nervous system, and it just resets your mind, and you begin to see things differently. So if you could just stop for 5 minutes and focus on a breathing technique, it's a really powerful tool. Like, one of the things that I do when I work with my clients is they come to me with a stress level, right? They'll come to me and they'll say, well, right now I'm feeling 8 out of 10 in anxiety. I always measure, nurses always measure stuff. So I say, okay, how much is your pain? How much is your stress? What are you feeling right now? And then I work with them to get them down to a relaxed state before we do hypnosis, because I want them to be optimal
Mm.
before we start to pre-program. So it's interesting to me to see them just doing breathing, how quickly they shift. And the first thing that I always do is the 5-5-5 breath, which is just inhaling for a count of 5, then holding your breath for a count of 5, and then exhaling slowly. And I get them to do that. Inhale, hold, exhale. We do that several times, and then I have them close their eyes, and I do this breath, which is something I came up with recently after I'm always taking classes and learning new
Yeah.
techniques.
Yeah.
But this one is really the one that has really shifted things very quickly for clients, and it's just me talking to them. I'm basically doing hypnosis, but in a breath. So we can do it now if you want to try it.
Sure, I'll try whatever.
So we're going to close our eyes, and we're going to take in 3 deep, slow breaths. So just inhale deeply, hold briefly, and then exhale slowly. Take another inhale, hold, exhale. One more time, inhale, hold, and exhale. Now I invite you to imagine that we're going to create a column of space all around you. We're going to create 11 feet of space in front of you, 11 feet of space to your right, 11 feet behind you, 11 feet to your left, and then we're going to create space 11 feet above and 11 feet below. And all you need to do is focus on your deep, slow breathing as I count and tell you where we're creating space. So we're going to begin creating space in front of you. So just focus on your deep, slow breath. Allow my voice to guide you into relaxation as we create 11 feet of space in front of you. 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to create 11 feet to the right of you. 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to create 11 feet behind you. 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to create 11 feet to your left. 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to create 11 feet above you. 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now 11 feet below you. 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You have done an amazing job. You just created space. You are anchored and connected. You are safe and supported, and you can awaken now.
Mm. Oh wow, thank you. That was awesome.
Did you feel anything? Because everybody always tells me I felt like this opening, this space.
Yes, I did feel like, yeah, like opening. I felt relaxed.
Hmm.
More than open, I feel relaxed. Yeah, I was about to fall asleep. I was so relaxed. It's
Well,
like-
that's what hypnosis is. It's like if you're falling asleep, if you can get your clients to get really relaxed, sometimes they feel like they slept 8 hours and really they were just under for 20 minutes. but it's a powerful tool.
It is,
And
and wow, this is thank you so much. This is a little sample what you can do. It will actually, I feel that shit open. I know, feel kind of weird because I know that I'm getting recorded, obviously because of the podcast, but I'm so relaxed.
yeah.
I was falling asleep.
Yeah, it takes you to a new place. It shifts you so that you can move into something. I like shifting my breath and doing those techniques whenever you're getting ready to do something that may stress you out. Maybe you're going into a situation where you know you get stressed out. Maybe you're going to go visit family and it's kind of overwhelming because there's so many people. If you could shift your breath before, and if you notice that you're feeling stressed during, and you go to the bathroom and you take your break when no one's going to bother you because you're in the bathroom, you can do these things in your own time. And that's all what self-love is. It's figuring out when you need to take time for yourself and slow things down.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, people, if you need a therapist or you need somebody to help you with hypnosis, Diane, right here, guys. That shit works because I felt it. You know, it's actually great. It's a little sample you guys can have if you take her guidance and counseling, and you have an app, you get websites. So I yes, I will promote your stuff because it's actually in whatever seconds we got. I don't know how long you did this, but
It wasn't very long. That breath is really short. It wasn't that long, but definitely in the app, I have them in Spanish and English because I know some of your fellows are Spanish.
some things
So it's not.
yeah,
It is my second language. I would say I was raised in Spanish, but I prefer English.
English.
So when I launched the app, I decided I was going to make some of those breathing techniques in Spanish and empowerment audios in Spanish. So there is some Spanish within the English app.
Okay, perfect. Yes, especially Spanish people, as we know, we're a little dramatic and out there. So learn to control how to breathe help a lot to
Oh, for sure.
calm
For
down the
sure.
situation. As a firefighter, you'll go to a building on fire. I go to a cardiac arrest. What can we do? Because we cannot take this long to respond, to at least
Mhm.
get into the mindset and relax. If you going through a suicide call, we got a bunch of those, or cardiac arrest, pediatric cardiac arrest. That's stressful.
Yes, that stuff is tough.
And with the first
Um,
ones on scene, what do you recommend to do?
for sure. I mean, you guys are rushing, right? You're rushing, rushing. But when
Yes.
you're driving to the event, and you're sitting there, you can practice some deep breathing. You can do some deep breaths and really let it out. Exhale and open your mouth. Several breaths out, and think of the things that maybe are stressing you out. This is actually something that I learned in one of these intuition classes that I've been taking. Is at first dump out in your mind everything that could go wrong, everything that you're stressed about, everything that you're worried about. Do some deep breathings and let it out, maybe 8 to 10 breaths, right? In like that, let it out. And then think from your higher self, your intuitive part, what could go right?
Okay.
How can I trust that I'm prepared for this? That I've got this, whatever the situation is, whatever comes out of it, there's going to be a blessing and a lesson in it. And just go into it from that perspective where you dumped out all the negatives, you just recentered yourself, and now you're going into it from a new space.
Yeah, that's actually. I will practice it, to be honest. Although, because
Try it and let me know. I would like to know how it goes for you.
I'll let you know because, as you know, we got if we got a fire or fire incident, at least where I work, you have a minute to get dressed with the bunker gear and all the equipment, and then you
Yeah.
got at least less than 5 minutes to get to the scene and then work. That's on the fire side. For EMS side, since I'm also paramedic,
Hmm.
response and it could be from cardiac arrest to chest pain to domestic violence. It all depends what the call is. So you can deal with that. Go through, said 10. Take deep
Yeah.
breath and just go for it.
Shift it. And I would say when you're on your downtime, when you're able to really focus on your breathing, is learn to breathe slower. And that way you begin to program yourself so that when you're in these situations, you're breathing slower. Because we tend to breathe this automatic, yes, it's amazing. Our bodies can breathe for us. It's awesome, but it really doesn't calm us down. So if in regular situations, when you're in your everyday life, when you're doing your podcast, you could slow things down so that when you're in those stressful situations, it'll trigger your mind, okay, now it's time to slow down my breathing. And you'll
Yeah,
concentrate more and your mind will be more focused in the situation. Um, and you're just getting more oxygen to your brain. You're just infusing more energy into your body.
yeah. I do work out a lot, train a lot with my mask and my equipment to get used to it, and slow down is a big thing for me. So if you see me, hopefully never working a cardiac arrest,
Yeah.
uh, you'll see me that I'm having literally. I'm not. I say I'm having fun, but I'm like so chill because I've been doing this for since I'm 17 and I'm 38 now.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been doing emergency medicine since in two countries. So I'm used to being that stress situation. So used to that. To me, it's normal now. And that's the problem. Sometimes it's so normal that people think that I have no feelings. But it's what it is.
No, it still takes a toll on your body. I honestly don't know how you guys do it. That equipment is so heavy and so, I don't know. It seems so overwhelming to me. I wouldn't be able to do it. Like I remember as a nurse in the ER, we had to do hazmat and we only had to do it once a year. And every time I had to put on that
And you
gear,
add like the axe again, climb,
yeah,
crawl. The hose is heavy. Depends on how much pressure, water pressure you got. If hopefully they got the engine, know how to do the water pressure. So now yeah, it's a fight with resistance. It is fun.
yeah, it's a physical, mental game for sure. You guys have a
Yeah,
lot of physical stress in addition to mental stress all at
yeah.
once.
And then you add like if somebody get injured, one of us. So then you got out of for medical leave, and then that the stress of So and so, but like I said, everything mental health wise that I can do to help your way of thinking or your expertise helps a lot. You don't have to go to a psychologist. I mean, you if you have to, you have to. But there is tools outside. There is multiple options. It's multiple ways to skin a cat. The way they see it here, I
Hmm.
guess. So I'm glad that you're able to come here to the podcast and talk about it and demonstrate a quick technique of how to relax and make your space, which actually works. I'm really surprised it actually worked with me. I was falling asleep.
I'm glad it worked with you. You're the first firefighter I've tried it on. I'm glad that it worked.
Yes, I'm the first one. I burst the bubble. I'm happy about it.
Yeah.
Before we talk about podcast, what are the your normal clients? The I know you don't have that many firefighters, obviously, because I'm the first. But
Right.
uh, a lot of persons like nurses, physicians, or anybody. What is the most?
Most of my clients, I mean, their range so far, they've been mostly women, but I have had men in the past.
Hmm,
Usually professionals, or sometimes it's retired people that are retired, but they're still within that business world. Like maybe they are
hmm,
on a board and they still have meetings and things to go to. Um, but mostly it's been women that connect with me. But I would love to work with firefighters or healthcare workers. I mean, that's my goal, is to eventually start going into these environments and teaching mindfulness to a group of people to see how it shifts the way that they feel. And
yeah,
if they're able to tune into their bodies and become aware of what's going on.
yeah, definitely. Um, always looking for tools or people that are peers. So I will see. I will ask if you're able to put you in the website that we're creating as a link or option. Hey, you don't have to go to this person, but we have this option too. If you want to talk to her, at least, I mean, that's an option. Maybe that'll work. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
I
will
mean,
see.
I'll always offer a free call, right, where they can ask me questions and um, see what they want to work on, and if it's something that I can work on, or if not,
Yeah,
I can refer them out to someone. But that's always
exactly.
an option,
Yeah, we'll
and
see.
it sounds like a good possibility.
Yes, that'll be awesome. And before we go, because almost 45 minutes already. Um, Who you recommend to be in the podcast to talk about mental health or hypnosis or anything else that you think about it? Who you recommend in your mind?
Out of my mind, out of my network.
Mm-hmm.
I do have a friend that I had interviewed on my podcast, which I haven't talked to her in a while. Her name is Michelle Alva.
Mm-hmm.
She teaches something that she calls the Alva method, and she's also a hypnotist. She actually got her hypnotist certificate with me, but
Okay.
she does tantra and massage, so
Oh,
it's a
okay.
little bit different realm from
Yeah.
mine. But she would be a good resource. I'm trying to think off the top of my head other people. You already interviewed one of them. The I can't remember her name. Andrea, that she does
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
taste. I went to one of her
Yes.
events.
Yes.
Um, that
Yes.
you go through the senses. A lot of
Yeah.
what I do is also through the senses, right? We're experiencing life through what we feel, hear,
Yeah.
listen, taste, smell. So that one was a great one to watch.
Yeah. Thanks,
If I think of more, I will definitely text you, but the one person that really stands out to me right now
Michelle.
is her. I do know other hypnotists that are in the realm. Um, if you wanted a man, I know one that's a man, but I mostly know women for some reason that are in
Hey,
that space.
I don't mind. Trust me, my audience won't mind. It's a bunch of firefighters and police, and sometimes you have to connect to the right therapist or the right person.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's
I
all
don't
about
mind.
connection. And you might
Yes.
not connect with one person, but maybe they help you connect with the
Mhm.
right person.
Yeah, that's what I learned. Maybe somebody cannot connect with you, but you can refer to somebody else that you know what I feel more comfortable with this person, or
Hmm.
they like you, and hey, I'll stick with you and do my therapy, my process with you. So that's know, that's true. You never know. And I appreciate if you can send me that contact and let her know that I'm eventually contact her. I will appreciate it. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure for me to have you finally in the podcast. Um, I like the way you approach things because you got a nursing and the hypnotist together. So you got a base of knowledge, scientific knowledge and data that as a nurse what's going on in your body. Plus you add the holistic treatments or therapy, which is great. I mean, that's to me that's one of the best approach that you can have in somebody, or knowledge or package, whatever you want to call it.
Thank you. Yeah, I know we took a long time to schedule it because of my knee surgery.
I know,
Uh, but
I
I'm
know.
finally able to walk and moving around good. What that actually motivated me to do is I realized in the community there's so many I see like now since I was immobile for so long that my family, like my elders, their family, their friends are less mobile now and they're having more physical issues and how the way your physical body is able to move, it affects your mental health.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things I'm working on for the app is actually a mobility course where it's basically me teaching them one relaxation techniques to help them relax and see their body in a new space, but also using the pool. I told you I went in the pool
Yeah.
this morning, using the pool to help you regain those movements. Because I love to dance, but the way my knee is,
Oh
only
yeah.
a few months after surgery, it doesn't quite do the same things it used to do. Um, but I decided that when I release that course, it's gonna be free course because I feel like there's so many people in the community that have
Yeah.
issues as they're aging where their mobility impacts their mental health and they don't feel great about themselves because they're not able to get around the same or they have more physical pain. Um, so yeah, I think there's a big connection between our mind and our body, and I'm glad that nursing gave me that knowledge and foundation to make
Yeah.
that connection.
And so, when you have that app ready or that section ready, let me know. I will post it and help you to promote it on the website, on my social media. I'm all about helping people, to be honest, however we can, because that's another thing. But yeah, thank you so much. Words before we go away, and hopefully we have another episode together one day. That'll be perfect.
Um, Last words. Self-love paves the way. Always
Okay.
make sure that you practice something that's self-loving in your day, whether it is brushing your teeth mindfully and thinking of the grateful things that you had in your day. Whenever you can connect with yourself mindfully and get all those to-dos out of your head, you're really going to shift the way your perspective is and how you move into the next activity. So always practice self-love.
Yeah. Thank you. That's amazing words. So closing words. That's awesome. And with that, guys, appreciate it. If you like to subscribe, like, share, whatever you want to do, go for it. Um, just have a great day today, people, and enjoy your day and be safe. Most important, just be safe. And with that, thank you so much, Diane. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're
It was
welcome.
great.